it is making contact, then I pull towards me. So I sort of, can you hold this thing up? So I'm going to hit the head, follow through. One, pull. Okay? Now if I do this, I'm going to lose that weapon. Okay? So, and then the same thing with 5 and 6. Can you stand it up? 5 and 6, I'm inserting into the belly, the stomach. When I pull out, I want to go the left quadrant of the body, which would be the spleen. So when I'm here, I'm going to rotate it while it's in there, pull it out, put it back into the opposite side of the body. Or I can do this, drop the tip, and then come here. But the action of this body shifting happens the same. So I thrust, shift, thrust. 9 and 10, I go into the heart, I can follow through, and then come with the 10, or I can hold it there, rotate it while it's in there as I pull out. So I'm going to go in, pull, now the 10, I can follow through with the 10, or I can hold it, pull it right, wrench it right out of that person, right? I'm sorry to say that, but I'm going to pull it right out, and then up with a 7. You see that? So it's 9, 10, 10. If I go 11, if it's 6, 5, 6, drop. It's the same concept that I'm going from here to 5, 6, drop it, pull up 7. If I go 9, 10, I can pull it out, and then 11. It's not coming from the lower quadrant, it's coming from the higher. If I'm working in this low position here, I'm going up. If I'm working high here, I'm going down. Okay? Now after I drop down here, if I go too far, I've created distance between my opponent and my point of contact. I'm going to get the 11, stop, hold. So I don't waste too much time on the secondary attack. Okay? Now, let's just move on a little bit. Let's put it in your left hand. Okay. So we have left foot forward. We're going to do the same angles of attack in the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, thrust, 7, 8, 9, 10, follow through, 11, thrust, 12. Okay, do it one more time, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The thrusting. So if you see the daggers always being used in this one. So thrust, thrust again, 1. Person has no chance. 1, 2, 3. Try that, please. Good. And body shift is extremely important in this one as well. There is a slight rotation forward back. So that shoulder, my right shoulder comes forward, my left shoulder, excuse me. My right shoulder, left shoulder, and then of course one with the right shoulder. So there's a lot of this going on this, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, go. And 1. There you go. Look again. 1, 2, go. Good job. Let the tip out a little bit more. Good job. Good job. Yes. Nice. Okay. Rest. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna do the uno dos with this, right? So we're gonna start with 1, and then we have uno dos, which we started last week. So basically, what you're doing is 1 flywheel, 2, and in between that, you're inserting the dagger, right? So 1 within the flywheel. I have the flywheel. The dagger's already en route, pointing in the direction where you're going to attack. This is already here when this is en route. Once it's done, completed, I have this angle here with rotation. I turn and hit with a number 2, which is dos in this sequence. And as I complete retracting this weapon, the main weapon, then I go right to the belly. Okay, but we're going to start with 1, uno, dos. 1, uno, dos. 1, uno, dos. So complete the 1 first. So you finish the 1, then you go into the flywheel. Okay? 1, uno, dos. Try that, please. Give me a few of those. Uno, dos. Now 7 is a big one. 7 can be a clearing. I can be clearing somebody's weapon. I can be hitting the knee. I could be attacking the person's arm or hand while they're attacking me. And it's 7, finish it, uno, dos. Just like that. Now, because we don't have swords in our hand, you still want to assume that you do have the sword. So the knuckles, the 4 knuckles, is the blade, or the angle of the blade. As I cut, finish the cut, and then I go here. Now, I guess a few things you got to be careful with would be at the end of this is going over your head like this. That's too close for comfort. I would recommend you go within that angle and finish it in that moment. I'm just going to go within that moment. Not get here and then redirect it this way. You see that? I don't know if you can see the subtlety in that, but I start here, I cut up, finish it, and then uno, dos. Try that. 7, uno, dos. Hip. And then I'm going to redirect it towards the low portion of the body that I'm attacking or wherever I'm attacking. So it's high to low, and then medium or low. So it's 1, 2. 1, 2. Now while you're doing this, all you're doing is what? Uno, dos. That's all it is. So now I want you to go from 1, uno, dos, to 7, uno, dos. And then start again, 1, 7. Okay? 1, uno, dos, 7, uno, dos. Gotta see some body shifting as well. I want you to feel it in your legs. If you don't feel it in your legs, that means you're just using your arms. Everything. The whole body is being used. Good. Down with the uno, dos. So it's a horizontal slash into a downward slash for uno, dos. Okay? 3, uno, dos. 3, uno, dos. Now 3 is one of those big ones. You know, that's one of those things that you just, wow, you know, you just really great. But you know, again, what you're doing is, can you hold this thing up? You can just hold this thing. I will not hit your hand. I'm gonna go here. This is the number 3. Basically, it would be hitting her hand. I'm just gonna really bang into that hand. And then when she retracts that hand, I come in. See that? Or if for some reason she gives me that dagger thrust, and I hit that hand. Hit that hand. Do it again. Hit that hand. She pulls back. I give me the stick. Right? I can enter here. If she gives me the thrust, I go this way with the uno, outside with the dos. You see that? So keep in mind when you give 3, I want to get a big one. Wow. Right? So really rotate the body and then vertical down. 3, uno, dos. 3, uno, dos. Now I've seen you guys, some of you guys are pinpointing the dagger like this into a thrust, which is okay. I like that. But try to get this moment of fluidity with the body, you know? So as I turn while I'm delivering the flywheel, turn the body so that the body's making the action. And then, you know, sometimes you can just kind of thrust forward like that. That's quite all right. But just try this for a little bit. It just gives you this moment of attack. Even if you're retreating, so if I'm here, I can retreat back. See that? I can either come forward or I can come back. I can go this way. I can go this way. You need fluidity. Okay? Try it again. Finish the 3 over here. And then you go vertical down. Cutting in so many different angles here, right? I got a horizontal strike into a vertical strike. It's hard for people to catch that when they're not aware of that sort of attack. They're going to assume it's coming from one place. There you go. Nicely done. Now I see some fluid. Yes, 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 yes. I'm happy with that. Okay, good. Now, let's start with number 1. Uno, dos. Go to 7. Uno, dos. We go to 3. Uno, dos. Again, 1, uno, dos, 7, uno, dos, 3, uno, dos. Now, from this position, I want to see a sunket. Sunket hooks up towards whatever you're attacking, finish it, and now uno, dos. Which is very simple because once I do this, that, you see that? It's so easy to go from here, now I'm ready for this attack. Instead of going 1 and getting that wrist action and then coming here, this is here, wrist is ready to go for that vertical. In this case, we're using it for uno, dos. So I hook, and I'm ready to go. Uno, dos. Sunket, uno, dos. Sunket, uno, dos. Sunket is very hooky motion, hook, and then here. Remember, the tip is in advance of the hand, because I'm using a sharp object here. Now, the gentleman, if the person is this close to me, then I have this action. Then I don't. The trajectory is going to change, and I'm going to go into what I'm attacking, pull towards me, and then re-attack. For some reason, he pulls his head back, then he gives me the dagger thrust. That gives me the uno. See that? Just keep in mind that because I'm this far away, I can get him from here. Just go right here, tip of my weapon, and then come in uno. Try that, please. Good job. Thank you. Sunket, uno dos. Finish the sunket, and then go into uno dos. Good. Tip it slightly forward. Good. Hold out here. Sunket. Sunket. There you go. Uno dos. There you go. And do it again. I'm just giving you the first one so you have something to hit. Let me go ahead. Go back. Anyway. Okay. Good job. One more. Shift back, shift forward. Okay? Nicely done. Nicely done. So now we're going to start with 1 and end with sunket. So it's 1, uno dos, 7, uno dos, 3, uno dos, sunket, uno dos. Now you have diverse moments of action and changing the angles of attack. Now that sequence in the form, Sanmigo form, the long form, is called bale bale. Bale bale is bullet bullet. So when it's basically speed, 1, 7, 3, some cat. So that sequence is always done in a very fast motion, because you don't give your opponent enough time to re-attack. So you're going from 1, up, 3, some cat. So you're always ready for the next attack. 1, flywheel, 2. Give me a few of these. Get used to how you manipulate this weapon. On the right hand, you want to apply it also on the left. Usually when this is taught, usually it's always done in the right side first, most of the sequences, and then they transition to the left. I prefer to kind of get right to the left hand pretty quickly within training. Again, one more. 1, uno, dos, 7, uno, dos, 3, uno, dos, some cat, uno, dos. Now, remember, you're preparing the arm or the angle of attack at the end of the strike at whatever point you end. So if I end here, I'm ready to go here. If I'm ready to go here, this is already going, right? So when I go for 7, all I have to do is go upward, motion. Remember, I'm coming from this downward attack to an upward attack for 7. Same thing with the 3. Once I'm done with uno dos, all I got to do is redirect my palm up. If I go uno dos, I stop here for the sunket and then pull. So I'm ready to go with that. Okay, keep that in mind. We'll repeat that. Now let's go back to the right hand. Now, last time we worked on the downward and upward sequences. Okay, so does anybody have any questions, by the way? Good? Okay. So let's do left hand. We have a light position here. This is the back stance. You can put your entire foot down if you wanted to, but you don't have a lot of weight on it, right? You're going to sit back. So I want you to step back with 1, fly with the cross stance, hat strike, forward uno dos. Okay, upward is I slash up, then down with a vertical flywheel with the cross hand, hat strike, forward uno dos. Again, 1, flywheel, half strike. 7, flywheel, half strike. Now the uno dos, remember what we're doing, guys. When I step back, I might be here. Big to small. And then if I need to really charge at that person, I'm going to go, whoa, really big. And small here. So it's kind of a neutral place to place yourself in. We have a lot of balance on that. If I do 7, 7 down, half strike. And the half strike is sort of this action. See my shoulder kind of retract a little bit? See my left shoulder? I have this going on. That gives me a little added force, a little added power. If I'm striking someone in front of me, my hand is pointed in that direction. Okay, so I don't have to do this kind of thing and use my wrist to attack. I'm using my structure of my body to do that. Once I do this, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2 steps. I'm going from here, 1, 2, but I'm making 4 attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Let's do that both downward, upward, simple. Start with your left foot forward in the back stand. We're in this back stance. 1, 1, 2. Slash for 7. As I slash for 7, I shift back, and that sort of prepares me for that. 2 fly wheels, half strike, forward, 1, 2. This is downward complex. Again, 1, shift forward, shift back, 2. See that? I have this moment. I don't necessarily have to shift forward here if I don't want to, but the idea is to get this going immediately into uno dos in a stationary position. Then I do 7 in place. The first fly wheel is that cross stance, and the second fly wheel is stationary, half strike, forward uno dos is the same. Upward complex is I step back with a 7, then uno dos, 7 again, in place. The first fly wheel gives me that cross stance, second fly wheel stationary, half strike, forward uno dos. Okay, let's do that together. That's it. Yeah, stay back from that back. Not going to stay kind of hanging out here, not shifting forward. Remember, with this particular sequence, you don't want to put a lot of weight on here. Now, if you had to put weight to get into the person's guard or try to really attack, that's okay. But with this sequence, remember, I'm coming in just enough to make that attack when I touch my foot. Once I'm touching, I get out of there. I'm just right back out of that sequence. So let's put this together with bali bali. Okay? So I want to see you guys, if you can, please. I know you can. Give me downward complex. Finish that sequence. Half strike. Then give me upward complex. Good job. And then, when you're done, bali bali. 1, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, samket, 1, 2. Now, at the end of that samket, 1, 2, we're going to do a thing called back in the form. Back is when someone is attacking my lead leg, or whatever they're attacking, doesn't matter. I'm going to do the number 7 with the cross hands. Very simple, shift back on that back. 2 fly wheels, half strike, forward 1, 2. Okay, so let's do that again. Downward first, complex. Upward. Good job. Bali bali. Back. That's a 7. Back is a number 7. Okay? Can we do bali bali again? Ready? Step back. 1, 1, 2. 7, 1, 2. 3, 1, 2, samket, 1, 2. Now, stop here. Watch me first. Back. There you go. 2 fly wheels, half strike, forward 1, 2. Okay? Now, after that, we're going to do upward again. Okay, it's part of the form. Upward complex. And then, bali bali again. 1, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, samket, 1, 2, back. 2 fly wheels, half strike, forward 1, 2, and then I think we'll end right there. So we're gonna do a thing called semi. We won't do it once, because usually it's repetitive. Semi, we've done the arco already last week. You step back with arco. We got 1, 2. Now semi-strike, remember last time we were doing this sequence like this? So it's a 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay? Then we do 1, 2, samket, 1, 2, back. 2 fly wheels, half strike, forward 1, 2. That sequence is called semi, but the actual semi-strike is this. So semi is interesting. Keep your hands down. Semi is one of those things where I hit the head here, redirect the attack for a secondary attack on a number 2, and then I finish with a number 3 slash. It could be that I bait him. So I want him to assume I'm going to try to hit him. He blocks that stick, blocks it, and then from here, I go around that head, top, and then go under to cut. See? It could be that I make contact on his hand, and then his head, and then his knee. Okay? So semi can be applied in so many different ways. So we'll get to contact partner drills, but right now let's just do semi. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So left foot forward. We're going to step back with arco. So I'm a real pain in the butt with this. Please bear with me. As you step back, I have 2 strikes. As I strike, okay? As I step back. 1, 2. That last one I'm already solidified in the stance. 1, 2. How you apply the arco? Many different ways. I can go downward on the attack. I can go horizontal with that attack. And I can go vertical up with that attack. So it all depends on how you want to deliver it. With this particular sequence, it's sort of this horizontal diagonal moment. You're just covering this angle in front of you. So at the end of that arco, when I finish arco, I immediately go into uno, dos, stop. From here, 1, 2, slash. Okay? Uno, dos, stop here. Sunket, uno, dos, back. That's a 7. 2 flywheels, half strike, forward, uno, dos. Semi again. Arco back, uno, dos, stationary. Semi strikes. 1, 2, 3, uno, dos. Sunket, 2 flywheels, half strike. I just screwed that up. I'm sorry. Don't listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Ready? Do it again. Arco, uno, dos. 1, 2, 3, uno, dos. Sunket, do it slow, uno, dos, and then you go back. Sorry about that. 7 is with the number, with the cross hands. 2 flywheels, half strike, forward, uno, dos. You guys remember that? Try it. Arco back, Sunket, uno, dos, back. Again, arco back, uno, dos, semi. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos. Sunket, uno, dos, back, 2 flywheels, half strike, forward, uno, dos. Again, arco back, uno, dos, semi, 1, 2, 3, uno, dos, sunket, uno, dos, back, 2 flywheels, half strike, forward, uno, dos. Good job. Try it again. Uno, dos, arco back. Uno, dos, semi strikes. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, sunket. Uno, dos, back. 2 flywheels, half strike, forward, uno, dos. Okay? And the sunket. Give me a few more times on your own, and we're going to move. Okay. One more time each and just stop. Okay. Rest. We're going to make some contact. We're going to do 2-person drills. Stand right in front of me here. So first one, you're just going to block. So hold your weapon like so, ready to go. So I'm going to give him a number 1. I'm going to give him a number 2. And then from this moment that he basically attacks this weapon, basically stopping it, I redirect for number 7. And I want you to drop downward. So like, yeah, stop it, right? So it's 1. And then you're going to feed me 1. 7. So it's like an upward cut, upward stop, and then stop it, right? So I want to go for the head. I want to go for here. Now don't block it. My objective is to hit whatever is in here. So if your dagger's forward, I'm going to hit that here. If you don't have the dagger forward, I'm going to hit the knee. I could also go upward and hit the chin, right? But it's a 1, a 2, and then a 7. And he has to stop it. So feed me the 1, feed the 2, feed the 7. I want to really stop that weapon. Even if it follows through, You follow through? Follow through with it? Right? Just before he comes back with that attack. But the objective is to, for two-person drills, to stop in the center, and then I'm going to feed you. And then you feed me. Ready? Force you to go down. Go a little lower and attack. There you go. Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 5. Partner up. Let's start with that. So there are drills that require slashing, 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 slashing. This is more jabbing. This is more learning how to, his block is my ricochet. So his block creates this, see how my stick came back at me? See that blue hard? You see that bounces off? That creates that. So if he does this, then you block the two, you give me a good strong block. Let it ricochet. I'm going to hold my fingers loose so you can see it. Don't hold it like this, but see how it's bouncing back to me? Now, it creates the next attack. Now, if he was slashing, it's a whole other ballgame, right? So just hold it up. I'm just going like this. That's very different, right? I'm just slashing, slashing. This is bounce, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 3, and now you feed me. Now, this is where we start moving with this a little bit. So, for every step, for every attack, you step. I feed you. Ready? Now you feed me. That's it. What? You see it? So the idea is, if he comes at me, I'm coming in immediately. Once I'm done, I'm coming in immediately. And that's the objective. When you work with your partner, you want to give that effect so that they feel it in their system. So if I come at you, come back quick. Go. Okay, that's what I want to do. Okay, that's the objective. But before we move, let's move on for the next series of attack. So, thank you. So now we start with 1, go to 2, go to 3, 7. Now because he's dropping low, I see this whole nice, beautiful area to attack. I'm gonna, as he bounces, as I bounce off of this, give it to me strong, brother. There you go. Do it again. Now. Okay, so 1. Yes. You see how nicely done. The objective is not to raise the hand. He's raising his stick just to stop that elbow attack. You see it? So simple. Very nicely done, by the way. Now you feed me 1. There you go. You feed me. Horizontal, horizontal, low. Go for my elbow. Okay. You got to move the stick over. There you go. There you go. You feed me. Ah, nicely done. Now if I'm stepping forward, right? Then you feed me. You see how close I got there? Now that's another thing. As he comes for that last number 4, and he's lunging in a little bit, that's where I have this. So he has to be careful with that. Very clean, man. If he gives me so much momentum, he's leaning into it. Dangerous. So be aware of your distance and your balance. Right? There you go. Okay. So let's do that stationary. We move it. We'll start moving. So the first one's a 1. Give it to me strong. Strong. When we end with 4, I'm going to go immediately back to the head. And then from here, give me a strong one here. Ah, yes. See how we can say? Vertical down, which is a number 11. So if I do this, 1, 2. 1, 2. So we'll go through the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go a little bit higher than the head. Now, if you stay here with this attack and I just manage to get through that, if he doesn't stop it in time, that tip can still hit. So he has to get there with enough time to stop that attack. And do not cover your eyes with your arm, okay? So feed, I feed you. You feed me. Feed me one more time. low, a little low. Oh, that beautiful sound. Then one again, and then high down. There you go, good. So in movement, come in already. In movement, same thing. 6 strikes, 6 movements, 6 movements. I need to see the angle change in your hand. Can I show you? That's it. There you go. That's it. That's the objective. Now, in this situation, when you have 2 people attacking, someone's bound to get hit. Both will definitely get hit. And one will always come on top. Maybe. Who knows? Or there might be a mutual kill. But remember, the objective is to keep your position while you're attacking. So you have a good stance every time so that when he's attacking, I can attack back. By the way, as I step forward, lead foot moves first, second. Just like fencing, I guess you want to call it. You ever seen that? So try the stationary first, 6 attacks, ricochet or jabs. High line 1, 2, 7, 4, 1, 11. 1, 2, 7, 4, 1, 11. Try that, please. But if I'm tapping it, don't move, just keep your hand up. I'm basically tapping the hand. Tapping the hand. Tapping the head. Tapping the elbow. Tapping here. Just hold it up. Now, step back. Breathing. That's what it is. Okay? It might be that I give him a 1, he blocks it, he blocked it 2, and then I slash like semi. So I'm using this baiting, jabbing here, just to open this up. Which would be a slash. I like this. So keep that in mind, because it's a sword, you can still sort of jab at the person, and you're using the first 3 to 5 inches of the blade to make contact. Now, give me a 1. A 1 down. Sorry. No, if I'm close to the person like this, that's different, because now I have this slashing attacks here. You see that? I can really get in there and really slash the person. If I'm far away, too slow, I cut the hand. See that? If you follow through, cut the hand, and then before he comes back, I give him that slash. Using the tip, see that? I don't have to get that close. If he gives me a 2, and I manage to get in tight, then that's different. I can use the weapon, right? Cutting between them. So just keep in mind, you can jab with a sword, you can also slash with a sword. Remember that, okay? So now, you guys got the 6?
Sir.
Let's transport the body. Remember, the lead foot initiates the movement forward. The back foot initiates or starts the movement back. Step forward. 6. Just put this away. It's a wonderful outfit. And where you want to be while you're attacking. It might be, it might be that I'm up here. Oh, move back.
Sir.
Ready? It might be I'm here, and then I drop my body. See, I just drop, so he just did that reactionary moment. That's beautiful. Because from here, I just go high again. That's the objective, right? And you can do the same for me. So you come in, you go low, drop your body, and then go high again. You see that? So I can go. That. It could be. I feed you again. Move here. It could be. Slowly, please. I'm here. I drop low, drop high, here, and then. It could be that, right? I don't have to stay on the ground. It could be he's just hold like this, away from your head. Right here, please. It could be I'm here, and I'm just going to go. Bah. It could be one of those. It's a jab, I'm jumping into it. So just keep that in mind, okay? So body shift, change where you are. that, buddy, what's that? You see the idea, yes? Try that. And make your partner move. Make your partner go like he did it to me. I'm like, oh, right, you know, make him work a little bit. Him or her. Okay? Just for the bale, we're going to treat it as a drill. Okay? So I'm going to give you a 1. You give me a 1. Nice, good stand. 1. A 1. Feed a 1 with a 1. Slash. Uno, go slowly. Now we're going to feed here. Actually, you know what? I want to see this one here. So, no, you know what? Let's go up. It's better. So let's go 1. Safer. So finish 1. Uno, dos. Palma. Okay, go 1. Uno, dos. 1. So, that's completed. This gives you this. We're going to pass each other. If not, we'll just cut each other. But we feed this too. And then, palm up. Pop. Okay? Go. Good job. Now, with bale, we have 1, then we have 7. Feed a 7 for a 7. Okay, 1. 7. Try that, guys. Okay? Stand upright like this. I want you to step forward with me as you deliver the 1. And I'm going to step forward, you step back with one of those. No, step back with that front. So we're changing angles. Yeah, step forward. And then step back. One of those. So you're still going to do one of those. But now we're transporting our body. This gets a little complicated. But so step back, step back. Actually, you know what? Step forward with the 1. I step back with the 1. Done. Now I'm going to step forward, one of those. You step back, one of those. And then we meet. This one is a neutral position. Forward, back, it doesn't matter. At some point you want to be here most of the time. But you know, maybe the distance is different. So it's going to change according to the form. Now he steps forward with 1. And then do it again. Keep coming. You got to meet me right there. Keep coming. You see it? Now hold. Now step forward 7. And then one of those. 7. And then so the lead foot, this foot has to have a pivoting moment. So as he steps back, he has to pivot that foot. Give me that last one. And then I have to do the same. If he steps forward with 1, step forward with 1, I have to, you see, I sort of pre-plan these moments. Hold. I have this going on. Pre-planning this one, pre-planning this one. So sort of like I have this pivoting moment. Step forward, 1, 1 of those, 7, 1 of those. So he's the primary attacker because he's the one that's coming in with the force. Now, if we change roles, stand up straight. I'm going to be the primary attacker. He steps back, a little up. He steps back at 1. He steps forward, one of those. I step back. 1. I'm forward, right? Good job. 7. Okay? That's the objective. Okay? So let's go 1 of those, 7 of those. Choose who's making the attack. The person who's attacking will step forward. The first person. And then we'll change roles. Now just to move on a little bit, she's going to step forward with upright position. Step forward with 1. Step forward with 1. Step back with 1 of those. Now, I want you to give me 7. She gives me 7, I'm going to give her 1. And then 1 of those. Okay, give me 1, and I'm going to give you 7. And we do it again. Sorry. Go. Okay, that's what I want to see. So one person feeds the 1, one person feeds the 7. You just have to solidify who's doing what. And just don't hurt each other. After this, we're done. Go. And some other 2-person drills, and maybe 1 or 2 disarms with the stick and the knife, which would be really, really cool to handle. Okay, guys, thank you for your time and energy. I really appreciate it. It was a really good job. It looks like you guys are really working.